Okay guys, it's time to delve into another wonderful nation, a terrain of vast open spaces, vibrant cultures, bold ideas and diverse lifestyles. We're here to explore all the unique sides of this majestic, expansive country known as Canada. From the bustling cities of the East Coast to her magnificent mountains in the West, we're going to take you on a journey to uncover the secrets of Canadian living and its landscapes. We'll dive into the cuisine, we'll get to know a little about the people living there, we're going to find out about costs, how safe or corrupt is the country, and places that you must visit while you're there. Although beneath the vibrant Canadian lifestyle lies a growing concern. There's a mysterious force that has been slowly eroding away at this liberal way of life that has defined the country for generations. What is driving these changes? Is it the shift in mindset or something else? Let's dive in and find out. First up, we're going to look at the most notable cities. Toronto is the most populous city and the largest in Canada. It's a vibrant metropolis that is home to the CN Tower, the Hockey Hall of Fame and the world's largest street. That's not all. Rumour has it that it's home to a secret society of raccoons that once managed to overthrow the city council. Plus here's a few more things to see in Toronto. Ottawa is the nation's capital and actually it's only the 6th largest city in Canada, but the most important with all the major institutions. It's full of iconic places like the Peace Tower, Parliament Hill, Rideau Canal, Vancouver. This city is situated between the coastal mountains and the Pacific Ocean, and it's renowned for the natural beauty of the two. There is also Stanley Park if you want to go, which is a huge park just outside the city, and it's one of the largest urban parks in the world. And if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of the Sasquatch. Here's other things that you can do in Vancouver. Montreal. This is a French-speaking city full of culture and great food. It's the home of the iconic Olympic Stadium and a famous La Ronde theme park. Plus, it has the best poutine in the world. And if you don't believe me, you need to try it yourself. Here's a few other things from Montreal. Quebec, the 2nd largest province in the whole of Canada, and it's full of incredible scenery, from the picturesque national parks to the cobblestone streets of old Quebec. It's a place you don't want to miss if you're ever in Canada. Here's a couple of other things from Quebec. So next we're going to delve into the nature of this country. Let's kick it off with one of the biggest ones, that is Niagara Falls in Ontario. This majestic waterfall is a must-see for anyone visiting Canada, and it's also a great place to get wet. You can get really up close with a boat trip, or you can make your own way on foot by yourself. Next we'll travel to Alberta, to Banff National Park, a great place to see the beauty of Canada and also the wonderful Rocky Mountains. You might also get a chance to see some amazing wildlife, from Alberta to Manitoba, to see the incredible view of the Aurora Borealis, otherwise known as the Northern Lights. This natural light show is something that everybody must experience one time in their life. Now let's cross to the other side of the country, to the ocean, to make our way to Nova Scotia. There we can travel to the famous Cabot Trail. It's a 290-kilometer loop from the north tip of the country, passing through Cape Breton Island and around the national park. An amazing experience for anyone who loves nature, also a bit of hiking.
Continuing our journey, we'll arrive at the Great Bear Rainforest in British Columbia. This is one of the last untouched rainforests in the whole world, and it's an incredible sight to behold. After this, back to Alberta, where you will see the majestic Columbian ice fields. A national park reserve in the Northwest Territories is such a great place to explore, finding wildlife and the landscapes are next to nothing that you're going to see anywhere else in the world. Then onto the Newfoundlands and visit Gros Monet National Park, another fantastic place to take a hike and absorb those beautiful landscapes within Canada. Next up, we're going to travel to the Canadian Badlands. This is an amazing place to drive through and see some of the most unique terrains that you'll ever see in your life. The country has many lakes, such as Lake Louise, Morin Lake, amongst others. You can't really capture through this video the beauty that Canada has to offer. This is only a few of the most amazing places in Canada, and like I said previously, you can only experience it with your own eyes. Remember, the next time that you feel a little bit down and you need a bit of a pickup, you can always take a trip to Canada, and this will help wash all that sadness away. Subscribe to watch future videos where we're going to go even deeper into the nature.
Population. Comparing to its vast size, Canada has a relatively small population, but definitely a divergent one, with just less than 40 million people living within the habitable areas of the country. The male and female populations are quite evenly matched, with only 0.4 million more females than males. Immigration is quite high, with 8.3 million, that's almost 23% of the whole country's population. And where are those immigrants coming from? From this 8.3 million, 18% come from India, 11.4% the Philippines, 8.9% China, 4.8% Syria, 3% Nigeria, 3% United States. This is due to the long history of Canadian humanitarian tradition, as well as its objective to reunite families, also enhancing and promoting economic development.
Size and landmass. It's an absolute huge country, but just how big is it really? Well, fun fact, it's actually the second largest country in the whole world, with a complete area of just less than 10 million square meters. The longest point north to south is just over 4,500 kilometers. It's even larger from east to west with just over 5,500 kilometers. Actually, around 80% of the country is mostly uninhabitable due to its geography and the climate getting inhospitable to humans the further north that you go. The Canadian prairies, badlands, forests and the mountains are all part of this country's grandeur, and it's because it's sat at the top of North America. It has the longest coastline in the whole world, 243,000 kilometers on 3 separate oceans. But the only way that you can ever get a sense for how big it is really is to see it with your own eyes. I mean, I can tell you it's big, but it's a lot bigger than that. I mean, it's so big, not even the Canadian government know how much of it they own.
Canada, being heavily influenced by France, definitely for sure has an incredible cuisine. From east to west, north to south, there's some delicious delicacies for everybody to taste. Let's start in the east with poutine. It's a classic dish in the province of Quebec. It's made up of French fries, curd cheese and covered in gravy. Amazing. Now let's head over to the province in the center of the country, a classic Canadian dessert known as the butter tart. It's a small pastry filled with a gooey sweet filling. In the province of Saskatchewan is Saskatoon berry pie. This is a very popular dessert. Moving even further east to Nova Scotia, you'll find the lobster roll, a delicious sandwich filled with lobster and mayonnaise. Heading back to Quebec, we cannot forget the Montreal style smoked meat, which is a definite must try. It's a type of deli meat that has been smoked and spiced and gives the European cured meats a run for their money. Back west in Ontario, split pea soup is the classic comfort food.
especially for those cold days. Maple syrup is poured everywhere and is even eaten spoon by spoon. It's also made touris sur la neige, which is a popular winter treat of frozen maple syrup served on a stick and eaten like a lolly, loved by kids of all ages from 0 to 100. Tortillere is a savoury pie typically served in Quebec during the holidays. As you can see, Canada is full of delicious food and amazing flavours, all very sugary and sweet. I don't know how the average weight of Canadians is not so big, or at least why the dental bills are not on average so high. So you want to know what the air's like to breathe in Canada? Well, let's talk a little bit about the quality of that then. Canadian is in an amazing position, ranked 111th from 149 countries with the largest air pollution, with an AQI of 30, though Toronto is the 85th city most polluted in the world. Though because 80% of the country is uninhabitable, the country averages out and has a very good AQI. Some of the major contributors to air pollution is transport, electricity generation, aluminium and aluminum production. The way that AQI works is the higher the number, the worse it is. Let's take a look at some of those cities with large AQIs and with the worst air quality in Canada. Revelstoke in British Columbia is ranked number 1 with an AQI of 99. Dalmeny has an AQI of 95. And Sault Ste. Marie in Ontario has 89. Now, obviously traffic and transport are the biggest contributors in these cities. Though on average, in Canada, traffic is not a major issue, but some of the big cities like Toronto are an exception. It's actually the 7th most congested city in the whole world, but hey, we're not in Los Angeles at least.
Let's now take a look at some of the most famous people in Canada who have made a major impact on the world. Dr. Frederick Banting, the man who improved the lives of millions. He invented synthetic insulin in the 1920s and went on to win a Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1923. Then we have a household name, Jim Carrey, legendary comedian who is starred in movies like The Mask and Ace Ventura.
You must be the Monopoly guy.
Then Keanu Reeves, who made it big in Hollywood as Neo in The Matrix, and also famous for his part in John Wick. He's amazing at playing action heroes, but he's really a big softie at heart.
You're like a cutie pie. You're a cutie pie.
Let's not forget Avril Lavigne, the punk princess of Canada. She's the perfect mix of rebelliousness and cool. She even wrote a song about the country she loves the most. Finally, there's Celine Dion, one of the biggest selling artists of all time. With her iconic ballads and powerful vocals, she's known all over the world. This is just a few of the famous people in Canada. We will discover more in future videos.
Cost of living. So you want to know if you're going to be out of pocket if you go to live in Canada? Well, I'm sorry, I can't tell you that because I don't know which country you're coming from. But what I can do is I can tell you the cost of living in Canada right now. I'm also going to share the dollar price because this helps people give them a better idea of what it is compared to their own country. So let's start off with a median salary in Canada, which is almost 61,120 Canadian dollars per year, which is around 44,500 US dollars. So now let's consider a single person's estimated monthly cost. Remember, this is going to be without rent, and the amount of that is around 1,239 Canadian dollars per month, which is around 900 US dollars. That's going to run you around 4,451 Canadian dollars a month. In US, that's 3,245. Remember, them costs are without rent. So let's take a look at rental prices. For a one-bedroom apartment in and out of the city, it ranges from as less than 1,400 to 1,600 Canadian dollars per month. That's about 1,200 to 1,400 dollars per month. For a 3-bedroom, it's about 2,300 to 2,670 Canadian dollars a month. And them are the estimated prices in Canada.
Actually, how are the Canadian people in general? I'm sure you've heard of the phrase, the world's nicest people. And many people think that this actually applies to Canadians, and they might be right. Overall, Canadians are super friendly, unpretentious people who value honesty, sensitivity, empathy, humility, and the respect of other people's privacy and individualism. So if you're ever in Canada, remember to be polite and respectful to others, because they for sure are going to show the same respect to other people. When it comes to having fun, Canadians really know how to enjoy themselves. With some of the world's most beautiful landscapes, they love getting outdoors, go cycling, kayaking, camping, skiing, and even more activities. Also, when it comes to dressing up for the occasion, they go all out. Though during work, it's strictly business casual, which is actually the norm apart from within the cooperative sector. Canadians are usually seen as genteel, decent, generous people by others from around the world. So you're ever feeling lonely in the place you are, you can always head to Canada. You're going to see a friendly face with a great smile that will lend you a helping hand. Also, they're super honest people. One Canadian found a wallet on the floor on his way to work, and actually he didn't even make it into work until lunchtime. He spent half of his day trying to find out who the wallet belonged to. Because the immigration in Canada is so high, this can lead to very beautiful women. Let's talk about the most beautiful women in Canada. First up, Jessica Lucas. She appeared in shows like Gotham and Melrose Place. She'd had roles in Cloverfield and She's the Man.
Back and forth cause we don't know better. And I thought we'd be different. Yeah, we were on to some good shit. We keep dancing with the devil, but he doesn't have a back, no. Should be pulling away from the fire. Should go, but I don't even try.
Moving on, Katie Bock. She's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, and her beauty and grace have made her a household name. Shay Mitchell is an actress and model. She's best known for her role in Pretty Little Liars and also been seen in Mother's Day and You.
I tried to replace you, tried to give up on you, but I can't.
Christine Crook is next. She's known for her roles in Smallville and Beauty and the Beast.
Name on my phone, yeah. You only call when you want it. Baby, gotta be honest. You know my body never.
Another fashion model and actress, Sarah Munch. She's graced the covers of Vogue and Maxim, and also in many commercials.
Should be pulling away from the fire. Should go, but I don't even try. Gone in the deep end tonight, tonight.
Next, Emmanuelle Shrieky. An actress has had a long career starring in TV shows and movies throughout the whole of North America. Finally, Alicia Cuthbert, another model and actress who is starred in movies like The Girl Next Door and House of Wax.
Saw your name on my phone, yeah. 3 o'clock in the morning. I just wanna love ya. I just wanna love ya. I just wanna love ya. I just wanna love ya.
Of course, there is so many more other beautiful women in Canada that we just haven't had the time to mention. If you want us to do a video about this, write it in the comments below. Safety and corruption. Overall, Canada has seemed to be a very safe country as it's very democratic and liberal. Canadians' crime rate is just a little less than 6,000 incidents per 100,000 population, which for a comparison to the United States, which is reported 400% more homicides in the same year. Canadian upholds its strict regulations when it comes to workers and business within the country. So the federal government enforces the regulations of the Canadian Labour Code, which protects the employees' rights, which is good for democracy. Canadians' healthcare system is highly regarded all around the world, and the Canadians include those of permanent resident status. They have access to free family doctor, hospital services throughout the whole country. Canadians' National Health Service Plan ensures that all Canadians receive a quality healthcare regardless of the income or location. In 2020, 83% of the people surveyed in Canada reported feeling safe walking alone in their neighbourhoods after dark. Canada's high global rankings in safety, respective of policy of the government, should encourage newcomers to feel confident and safety when they're in Canada. But things are slowly changing. Over the last few years, they have started to take the ideas of the socialist countries like China, stopping the bank accounts of protesters, forcing people to do things that they don't want in regulations. Canada seems to be losing its overall liberal way of life. I guess that's why a lot of Canadians are leaving the country. Even when they leave the country, they're going to places like Mexico for vacation. Why did they go to Mexico? I can show you on this next video here.